Okay, so we'll be looking today at interactive display technologies, why we should be focusing on it, what benefits there are for the end user, and what to consider when specifying iLFD products. So firstly, why Midwich investing heavily in interactive large format displays? So the display market globally has grown significantly over the past decade. 2014 alone, the growth in interactive displays was over 19%. The total global market in 2014 was 1.3 million displays, which is a total of $2.7 billion. So as you can see, it's a major area globally, and it's growing steadily as well. What we've also seen is a steady transition from projection devices to flat panel, such that iLFD actually accounted for a third of the total market in 2014. What we are seeing, however, is that the UK growth is far more dramatic. We are seeing a serious switch from projection to flat panel displays. 55% of all interactive displays technology were iLFD in both Q3 and Q4 of last year. So as you can see, it's a major area for growth. The predicted market is predicted to hit about 80 million by 2018. So there's a lot of business out there that is moving away from projection over to interactive LFD, and obviously the market itself is growing quite dramatically. So why is this technology growing so quickly? So we're seeing a shift from projection to LFD primarily down to the quality of the screen technology, resolutions and touch capabilities, combined with the reduction in cost. Flat panel displays are coming down in cost quite dramatically, and 65-inch is actually becoming the standard for classroom-based iLFD. We're seeing touch technologies everywhere, from smartphones to tablets, games consoles, control devices for AV. So it stands to reason that this is driving a serious requirement for large touch displays in classrooms and of large sizes as well. What we're also seeing is a lower dependence on single vendor approaches to technology. So when purchasing a solution, many schools already have chosen a preferred software capability with touch built in, and are generally looking to partner this with best technology product they can find or that they can afford. So what we're seeing there is, as I said, schools are looking at a technology that they can link with existing product, or they're looking at solutions that allow that to be all completed into one. But again, they're looking at different vendors for either product or whole software solutions. Smart and Promethean have led the way in introducing interactivity into classrooms via the easy-to-use software, have given them a very, very strong foothold in the market. However, what we have seen recently is a large increase in the number of vendors and distributors that are bringing their own products to market. So again, there is a great deal of choice. Schools are not limited to one or two vendors. They can pick and choose what suits them from a technology, a hardware, software solution, or a complete package that they're looking to deploy within their organisation. So how does this benefit the end customer? So the introduction of interactive technologies into classroom environments provides an ideal opportunity for teachers and students to collaborate on the same document. So bringing your own device, tablets, are fast becoming a very important tool in a classroom environment. So the ability for students and teachers to link the devices to allow collaboration from the desk is sometimes regarded as quite an important consideration. There are software solutions in the market such as DisplayNote, Solstice, Smoothboard, and others are available to allow devices to connect wirelessly. There are also hardware-based options from Awind, AMX, Barco, Crestron, to name just a few. iLFD products are considered easier to install and maintain than most projection-based solutions. Comprehensive warranties that most manufacturers bundle with displays. Total cost of ownership over 3 to 5 years is very competitive. Displays also are much easier from a maintenance perspective in that they don't require filters, bulbs, recalibration is very minimum, again helping with that total cost of ownership message. So the lack of recalibration also makes these ideally suited to a mobile solution. So when bundled with a mobile trolley or a cart, can be used in multiple locations throughout an establishment. So what we're saying here is that there are many reasons to take on an iLFD product. The product's becoming much more reliable, much more robust, and the software solutions that are out there are generally backwards compatible for most iLFD products that are in the market. So if the customer has Smart or has Promethean, or they have technology that they already want to use, the interactive displays are ready to use in a very simple installation and maintenance environment. Okay, so what should you consider when specifying an iLFD for your customer? So interactive displays tend to fall into three main technology types. So infrared, optical, and projective capacitive. So IR and optical are the main technologies used by the key manufacturers in the education sector. Projective capacitive, more focused on retail and corporate markets. So what we're seeing is that most of the major manufacturers, say, are focusing on either infrared or optical. Historically, optical was considered a better technology due to more accurate touch. However, in the past few years, infrared has caught up quite dramatically, and there is no major difference between the touch technologies in terms of accuracy of touch. Infrared, however, is classed as more robust. Optical tends to use small cameras which can be knocked out of line, or they can be broken quite easily. So infrared is considered slightly more robust and also lends itself better to larger screen sizes. So over and above the 65-inch size, generally people are using infrared, and certainly within the 84-inch there is a definite advantage to using an IR-based technology. The cameras on optical tend to not be able to reach as far to the middle of the screens, and you can lose some accuracy and touch points once you get to the middle of an 84-inch screen if it was running on optical technology. Number of touch points. This is one question that we often get asked, although it is quite a misleading requirement, as the number of touch points generally is dictated by the software and the hardware driving the screen. Mac, for example, will only handle a single point of touch. Windows generally will run up to 6 points of touch, but again, the software being used and the size of the screen can dictate what's required from the number of touch points. Obviously, if you've got a 40-point touch on a 42-inch screen, it's very difficult to get that number of people around the panel to actually make use of those touch points. So most scheme screens on the market at the moment boast a 10-point touch capability, which we find is more than adequate for most applications and screen sizes. So again, it's a question to ask the customer, what are they using it for, how many points of touch do they think they need, what software packages they're using, and that will help to guide us on which products and which solutions we want to pitch for this particular opportunity. So build quality. In order to maximise the total cost of ownership message, ensuring that the hardware is of good quality is quite critical. As much as the manufacturers do have very comprehensive warranties, having a screen go down in a school is a very bad thing for the end customer. So it's going to cause a major issue. So most, say, hardware and manufacturers offer a 5-year warranty. However, making sure that the quality of the screen is good gives you a much better quality image, much better quality audio, and again less downtime with regards to the screen failures. Also, on-site warranties or de-install, reinstall warranties are quite critical again, because it reduces that issue the customer may feel they're having with the screen if it fails during a school lesson. Software. Sorry about this. Back to where I was. Okay, so software. There are solutions on the market that offer bundled software with a screen to add value or to offer a differential against competition. This may seem like a good benefit. However, as I've mentioned earlier, a lot of establishments will have already chosen a preferred software package. So the increased costs that may come from an all-in-one solution may not be as good as they first seem. Often it is worth asking the customer what software they currently use, as most will be compatible with any manufacturer hardware. Smart and Promethean, as I've said before, are very widely used within the education sector. If they are the incumbent software solution that's being requested by the end customer, there are some third-party offerings that can utilise the existing files without the need for more licenses. There's a product called EasyTeach, which will import Smart and Promethean files and allow them to use existing lesson plans, existing content with a third-party manufacturer screen. Indeed, Smart has solutions now that are designed for non-smart hardware products. So if software is part of the required solution from your customer, it is worth finding out what software is required and find out what is required by the school in terms of the tools that they want to use. Microsoft Office has built-in tools for touchscreens, such as inking and highlighting, etc., that may already give the school what they require from a software solution. So again, asking those questions around what they require this touchscreen to do, what software packages they're already using, can help us to build a solution for your customer. Screen size and resolution. So historically, interactive projection solutions have been focused around 70-inch plus screen sizes to ensure a clear image that can be seen by the entire class. So now that displays are capable of full HD and higher, linked to the quality of the screen, this means that a 65-inch display is more than adequate for most class sizes. In fact, some of the demos that we've pushed for our customers, they find 65-inch to be the best size and the most suitable for a classroom environment. Also, given that they want the students to be able to interact and use the screen as well, having too large a screen limits the actual space that the students can touch. And also having a height adjustable stand brings the screen down to a size that they can realistically use. So we're finding that 65-inch is becoming the standard for education. There are ultra-high definition resolution interactive displays now coming into the market from about 55-inch and upwards. However, obviously the limitation there is ensuring that if the school has any 4K content, they may not be worth that extra money. What we're also finding is that a lot of the 4K resolution screens that are out on the market are using inferior panel. So when we've put a 65-inch or 55-inch full HD display up against a 4K screen, we are seeing a better quality of image from a standard definition, full HD screen than some of the 4K screens that are out there. However, 4K will obviously future-proof them against that technology, and the content that will be released in 4K. So again, something to consider when talking to the customers as to whether 4K content is required, and then we can again discuss what's required from the customer. So I tried to keep this as short and sweet as possible. If there are any questions, please put those in the questions box and we can come back to them very, very shortly. Okay, do we have any questions from anyone? Okay, well, thank you very much. I haven't said any questions from anyone. So thank you for your time today. If there are any further questions or if you need any assistance with any inquiries, please get in touch with your account manager or one of the specialist teams here at Midwich, and we will do our best to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much for your time.